You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast, following the most lopsided win we've seen from the Ottawa Senators in 9 years. Ottawa puts up an 8 spot on the Florida Panthers, 8-2 the final score. To think that this was tied 2-2 at one point, and like DJ Smith, we don't change things after a victory. I'm Levitan, Brandon Piller with me as always, and just like he joined on Saturday following a shutout over Tampa, Lalim's Martian. Cam, you weren't at this game, although I'm sure you wouldn't mind a little Florida sunshine, but certainly bright on television with a goal barrage by the Senators.
Awesome. That was so I can't remember the last time I've seen the Sens run up the score like that. That was incredible to watch. I think you tweeted it out. It's been, what is it now, 9 years since they've been able to put up 8 goals. So amazing to see. Super excited. I love how they got scoring from, all the different lines. They're up and down the lineup they were scoring. So that's what happens when you get a little secondary scoring, I guess, with the Sens.
Pilsy, they scored first too. How important was that?
Huge. And, they score first and you're kind of waiting for Florida to turn things up. And Florida does end up responding. But the Senators, I don't even know how this game got out of hand so quickly. Like it seemed like fairly balanced. And then just all of a sudden, just all the good chances the Sens were getting were going in. Florida was having such breakdowns. The PK looked like they were on offense mode every single time they got on the ice. Connor Brown and Alex Formanton lighting it up. And I think my favorite part of this game, guys, was watching the Florida Panthers' emotion and discipline spiral out of control. Like in the third period there, they just were so upset that this was happening in their own building and that the Ottawa Senators came to town and are doing this to them in front of their fans. And that's a good feeling as a fan, being like, we're the top team in the league. Cannot believe that the Sens are putting an 8 spot on them. And good night.
The Florida Panthers, as I just pulled up on the bottom ticker, were 14-1 on home ice.
Yeah.
Coming into tonight's game. And I don't want to hear about no Barkov. Don't care. The team that was out there had been doing it over the last 3 games as well. And Ottawa just took him to the woodshed, especially in the third period. Again, just like they had a perfectly boring third period against the Lightning on Saturday. Well, this will do wonders for a league worst third period goal differential, won't it? Putting up a 4 spot. Nick Paul getting some offense. Like, there is so much to like. And Pills, you brought up this morning how great it would be for the Senators to get depth scoring. They got it early, often with Austin Watson putting away a Nick Paul rebound to open this scoring. And then Huberdeau, my lookout player, had to answer in a hurry. He gets 10 on the year. But then I think the ice really tilted following the goal against, and how great to see the momentum swing in Ottawa's favor for once, Pilsy, where they get 1 and then they get 2 and then continue to roll in the third period.
And I was happy to see Gambrell get that goal. Like, he had half the ice all to himself. Like, that was basically a penalty shot. And he comes in, he's confident, he's smooth. He waits to find an opening and buries it for his first goal of the year and first goal as a Senator. So, hey, maybe there is a little offense to that. Don't call them the fourth line.
Yeah, I was giving him such a hard time, Dylan Gambrell. Like, it seemed like every time he got an offensive chance, which he seems to create a lot of, he's not getting any good shots on goal. He seems to get robbed half the time. And then sure enough, here he goes in the breakaway. I'm thinking to myself, there's no chance this guy scored. There he goes. He scores. So it's just one of those nights that everything seemed to go right for them, right?
Things have been going right since Ian Mendes stopped tweeting during games. Yes. And since Locked On Senators introduced the Postcast, the Sens are now 5-2 in the Postcast era. And we're hoping to keep that rolling. Appreciate everyone joining us on YouTube Live after each and every Ottawa Senators game. We just see the numbers keep going higher, and all credit goes to a team who's really just becoming more and more fun to watch. We're going to get into Alex Formanton. Flash had about 3 extra chances from what he put up tonight, and the top line continues to roll. Not only that, if you'll notice, I'm going to pull up some comments. We appreciate the chat. We're going to just keep that rolling. We might not exactly react to each one, but keep it rolling. A little visual pleasure, and one of them we pulled up already. Nikki writing in, how is this for a 5-0 run for Anton Forsberg? So, without further ado, Pilsy, let you start in the crease. What did you see from Forsberg here to not only keep this one tight, but give the chance for the Ottawa to pull away.
Man, this guy's got the glove of an MLB infielder. Like, he wasn't dropping anything tonight. He had so many good snags. The rebound control was on fire. Like, Florida could not get him out of position. And 5 straight wins for Anton Forsberg. Like, who would have thought that he would be the guy of our 3 goalies to be carrying this team like this? And we've talked about this, Ross. It's not like he's doing this against the Arizona Coyotes or the Buffalo Sabres. These are good teams. This is the best team in the league on the road, and only 2 goals on over 30 shots. Like, there's no excuse. There's no like luck involved here. Like, he's just playing good hockey, and it's so nice to see one of the Sens goalies be able to string along a consistency of this hot hand. And DJ Smith, gotta credit him. He's going back and back to the Forsberg well, and it's working.
We're not going to go too heavy into the lack of attendance in Florida, but I do want to point out Lincoln Berry mentioning the booing that the crowd felt. I'm sure the players noticed that one right away. Hey, Leaves?
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Anytime your own crowd's booing you, you're not going to be too happy about it. I wish we had an ISO cam on Hornquist that whole third period, because it seemed like he was horned up the entire period. He was just, pissed off. He's getting cross-checked in the face by Zub. Like, I mean, all over the place. He was just, getting mixed in for sure.
Oh, something weird too. I mentioned Nick Paul 2 third period goals. I'm so fired up. I was just going off of the NHL scores page.
I thought I was losing my mind because I swear I saw Brady score, and I checked all the websites, everything, and nothing happened. I was like, well, just got a little too deep into the wine today, but apparently not. That was Brady Tkachuk's goal. Thank you.
Yes, just like it was Josh Norris's goal at the that was his first goal, right at the end of the second period, where everyone was play on for an extra couple of minutes. And Jamie McLennan was the first to point out. He said, I'm pretty sure that went in. And he's up in the perch. He's not even in between the benches down in Florida, where he spent lots of time as the backup during his career. Good friend of the show, Noodles. But
Dean and Gore didn't catch it. Dean and Gore didn't catch it because I was listening to them. And neither of them had any clue until they showed the replay of it going in. So good eye, Noodles.
That's awesome. Goalies make the best analysts, and some say make electric radio as well. Pilsy, your Sens Central standout. We already touched on Anton Forsberg, and that can't be overstated. Despite 8-2 on the scoreboard, he made 33 saves on 35 shots and some big ones before this was out of reach. Outside of that, Pilsy, who stood out most for you?
This might surprise you, but I thought Connor Brown had an excellent game, and 3 assists. Not a lot of ice time for him, 16 minutes and 40 seconds, but 5 minutes shorthanded. And like, they were creating so much offense on that penalty kill. Like, him and Formanton, they finally got back to what they were doing last season. And it's been great to see Connor Brown start to ignite here, because I feel like that's had a trickle effect. Even though Nick Paul isn't on his line, I'm sure the two of them are close. And I feel like that had a ripple effect, and Paul got some offense as well. So seeing Connor Brown being able to ignite that penalty kill into an offensive threat once again, like it was last season, is a big boost to this team. So he's going to be my Sens Central standout tonight.
Cam?
I'm kind of going off the board a little bit too, Pilsy. I'm actually going with Dylan Gambrell this time.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of using him a bit as a champion here for the entire don't call it the fourth line. Because that whole line I thought had a really great game. But I thought Dylan Gambrell really showed a lot of great things, obviously scoring the goal on the breakaway. And his goal was at a time where it actually mattered in the game, because it seemed like all the goals at the end of the game really didn't seem to matter because the Sens had it so in hand. But I'm going with Dylan Gambrell. I thought he had a lot of speed through the neutral zone. He was creating a lot. So he's my guy. And I'm trying to make up for it, because I think he's one of the few guys I slammed a couple times on Twitter. So
Nice.
Yeah, that's always a good redemption game when everyone's just feeling good after a win. Give some love to a guy who wouldn't get it otherwise. Gambrell, 50% in the face-off circle. Nice. 15-17 has to be close to, if not the most he's got as an Ottawa Senator.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
They're getting like third line minutes, right? It's like,
Yeah, not fourth line minutes.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Okay, we got to give some love to 2 guys who haven't gotten enough of it, and we're going to finish off today's show just drooling over the top line. But how about the 2? He had 3 total, but 2 of Connor Brown's assists were of the elite variety tonight.
Right?
The first, like just Tim Stützle, Pilsy, That was unbelievable.
And
then,
he was the one who set up Gambrell for that perfect breakaway opportunity.
Exactly.
So that's what I was saying. Like, he really got the offense going with those passes.
You're right. Yeah.
That was a savvy standout pick, Pilsy.
Thanks, guys.
Unbelievable. So you love that. And then Tim Stützle getting his fourth, getting on a little bit of a roll.
Oh, yeah. Give me more Tim Stützle shots from the high slot. Like, he needs to understand and be selfish. Like, your wrist shot is one of the best on the team. Use it. And I feel like goalies have a hard time picking it up. Like, it gets off his stick so quickly. So I want to see more Tim Stützle shots here because the kid is lighting it up.
You know what? Sorry, go ahead, Marshall.
Well, he just does that all the time in practice, right? So the way he did it, and then just kind of pointed at the net, I do this all the time, but you guys never see it. It's kind of the weirdest reaction. But
my Sens Central standout has to be the ice time for Thomas Chabot, and subsequently what he's been able to do with it. Only 21 minutes tonight, just a hair under 21 minutes for the second straight game. He's not first or second in ice time among Sens defensemen. Zaitsev led the way tonight, and then Holden right behind him. Of course, those guys spent a ton of time on the penalty kill, a penalty kill that stayed perfect and has been over such a great stretch now since the Landeskog goal in the first period of the Colorado game. That's the last time this PK has given up anything. And those two horses on the back end, Nick Holden played 7.5 minutes on the PK tonight. That's not easy ice time. Zaitsev had a few big blocks in the first period. 6 minutes of his was shorthanded. So this lesser ice time for Chabot has just allowed him to expand offensively. He gets another multi-point game, 3 shots, 4 blocks for Shabby. Actually led all defensemen on this team. And the poise when he's bringing the puck up, you just know they're going to set up offensively. Something you watched for, Marsh, and you told us on Saturday was the zone entries on the power play. Did you notice that there was a lot smoother today? They're getting into the zone.
Yeah, it seemed to be. I think that they were winning the face-off a lot of the time, too, and that's obviously going to help a lot. Do you see Brady Tkachuk in the face-off tonight? It was in the dot tonight. He was unbelievable, right? It seemed like all the important face-offs was going to be him in the offensive zone. He was winning them all. I think Gord was saying on the broadcast that he's probably going to be leading the team in face-off win percentage by the end of the night.
Yeah. No, I believe that, too. And he's the kind of guy who it doesn't matter who the centerman is. You'd almost prefer to have the winger take it in that case because Brady just snaps him back. Nikki also writing in, who's getting the bike helmet tonight? Martian, we'll start with you.
It's definitely going to be Josh Norris. I think they're definitely going to give him the nod tonight. 2 goals, multi-goal game. You don't see that very often, although I think we are going to see that pretty often from Norris. What are we going to end up having to pay this guy is the big question.
So much.
Yeah.
But he's worth every penny.
Yeah, definitely. And that's definitely a good bike helmet guy. I'm going with Forsberg, though. Not too long ago.
He's not going to keep it, though.
Yeah, he won it last time, Pilsy. So he's
not going to keep it.
Goalie-friendly show.
Stands up in the room. He's like,
show. He's going to keep it. Because, guys, not too long ago, this team labeled their highest-paid goalie a scapegoat for why they were losing. And now their third string goalie goes and wins 5 straight games. Yeah, if I'm Forsberg, I'm just doing one of these and one of these. Guys, I'm making Florida look like a joke here. So I'm going to keep this bike helmet. And hey, with the amount of shots he's facing, that guy needs to keep a helmet on.
Pilsy, no doubt in your mind that Forsberg plays Thursday?
Oh, yeah.
I know you wanted to get Gus in, but you can't.
I want to get Gus in. Yeah, but things have changed around here. It's a developmental process philosophy, guys. So you got to get Gus in. No, screw that. Things aren't developmental anymore. We're going back to win mode. Let's go.
Oh, my God. And lots of people writing in that the Nick Suzuki contract could be a good comparable.
Yeah, give it to Norris and sign it. Let's go.
Well, I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at this.
How's Suzuki doing this year?
Well, did Nick Suzuki deserve that contract, or did he have one good playoff run?
Either way, that's a nice contract for Norris. Regardless of who the comparable is, I think that fits Norris perfectly, and it matches the salary cap structure of this team, right? It's above Batherson, but not quite past Brady.
Any number that becomes inflated with Josh Norris, feel good about the fact that you've got Drake Batherson for 5 years after this one, locked up, and he's a big reason why Norris's money is going to keep rolling in. Did you see that 9 primary assists on Josh Norris's 14 goals this year? And he's got another secondary there too.
When you think of Drake Batherson, you don't think playmaking winger. You think, sniping winger, goal scoring winger. But the way he's playing, like in the last few games here, yeah, he's a playmaker all of a sudden, right?
He's up to 28 points in 21 games. Like, this guy is going to be breaking the door down to get into the league's top 10, and that's including all the time he missed when he was out with COVID.
Yeah, and I mean, Cam, you mentioned that he's like kind of, you think of him as a shooter, but I mean, when he got Josh Norris scoring what seems like every single goddamn game, you better be passing that puck over to him.
So that's now 6 goals in the last 6 games for Josh Norris. Did I mention he just turned 22 years old? This guy is just on pace to become, a real, and obviously saying part of the core would be an understatement, but an important first line center. Now, when he was traded, the team even admitted they thought they were getting a third line center. Then we saw him dominate in Belleville. He wins Rookie of the Year down there. It's like, okay, good second line center. Now, Brett James writes in, we got to get to this one. When's Giroux joining the boys for a playoff push? Let's go. Bring G home. Keep that thing rolling. I mean, I'm kind of saying that tongue in cheek. Like, I think perfect situation. It's free agency this summer. But we're getting ahead of ourselves either way, because you know that if Philly doesn't want Ridley Gregg, which again, I believe that would be a part of the ask, the Philly connection, people love that. And Mark Gregg, Ridley's dad, works for the Flyers. It would just have that perfect element to it. But I'm also thinking if it's not him, then it might be Alex Formenton. And can we finish up by just mentioning how great he looks on Tim Stützle's wing, Pilsy?
Yeah, and we talked about it. We needed to find someone to play with a little bit more offensive jump on that wing with Tim Stützle.
Play give and go with him.
Yeah, they found the guy. And also, like, Tim's such a creative passer. Like, think of all the times Formenton even was playing on those other lines, how many times they would literally just sit back and chip the puck up and watch him go. Now let's get someone who can fool the defense into thinking he's actually going to break out of the zone himself and then just chip it to Formenton. And these guys, it's going to be great to see what they're able to do as a pair.
Martian, what's your ceiling for Josh Norris? We've got one written in here asking. Point per game?
Yeah, I think definitely point per game. I think he's on pace right now.
Martian's like, that's the floor.
yeah. I mean, the way he's going right now, he's a goal per game, it feels like. So I mean, he's on pace for 46, right? Something I saw that just a moment ago. So on pace for 46. Woo! I don't know if he hits that. I mean, if he gets anywhere close to 46, we should be a little bit worried about. Actually, we should be thanking him because he's going to smoke Melnick.
No doubt. Yeah. So since we started the postcast, that was 7 games ago. Sens are 5-2. Thanks everyone for watching, subscribing. Please hit a little thumbs up. We got over 100 people in the chat for the first time.
The biggest postcast. Yeah,
love to see it. The fan base in Ottawa is as passionate as you'll find, but you can only mop up a loss so many times.
We know that well, Ross.
We are on fire.
We're janitors if we're mopping up losses.
You guys are blessing me right now. It's 2 straight wins you've had me on here.
No, you're blessing us and the fan base. It's the Martian bump.
I hope you're not busy on Thursday night. The Senators' next action coming against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And we said we'd finish off today's show discussing the top line. Kevin writes in, getting some pizza line vibes. Now, I'm not here for this Hoffman, Turris, Stone erasure, though. Those guys were as good as we've seen since, obviously, the pizza line had the longevity. But in that run, the 22-game Hamburglar run, you weren't going to find a better line in the world than Hoffman, Turris, and Stone. Stone had like 30 points in 20 games or something on that stretch. But this line here, they all bring their own element. It's so much fun to watch. What's your favorite part, Pillsy, watching those guys come over the boards every second or third shift?
Honestly, and this might be a weird answer, but I love seeing those guys selly all the time. Like when Norris and Batherson were selling on the bench as play was going on because they knew they scored. Like, and Batherson said it in I forget if it was the post game or what it was, but to the media, like, we're just having so much fun right now. Like, sure, they're down in the standings, but everything is clicking and things are working for them. And this top line is producing every single night. Like, I guess to give you a more hockey answer, Ross, and not a fan answer, I'm loving the consistency. For them to be able to do this as often and dominate up against other teams' top lines with this much ease is so incredible for guys that are in their early 20s, and 2 of them are locked up long term. Like, oh my God, we are blessed with some good news and a legitimate top line that's here to stay.
Plenty more coming on tomorrow's edition of the Locked On Senators podcast. Thank you for listening to the Postcast. Please hit us with a Go Sens Go in the chat. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Pilsy, we'll do it again tomorrow. Before we go, Martian, I want to hit this note from Matt McGloin. Do we have to face Vasilevsky in Tampa? Pilsy, do you want to tell him what we said on the show? Bring it on.
Yeah, give us Vasilevsky. Yeah, Brian Elliott didn't have a regulation loss. That's over. Spencer Knight's supposed to be one of the greatest young goalie proteges. Yeah, he put up an 8 spot. Nice try, bud. Vasilevsky, never heard of him. Throw him in the net. Let's go.
Yeah,
okay, we have to address this too. Sorry, Martian. Address this after. Don't worry, hit me with that. No, I don't want to hear the injury bug though. I don't like that.
We are not apologizing for W's on this show. Absolutely not.
Not apologizing for W's on this show, Dylan. Sorry. Martian, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, don't underestimate the Sens. Not right now. They're coming on hot. That's for sure.
Woo! You absolutely love to see it. The Senators with one of the hottest top lines in hockey and one of the hottest teams. 5-1 over their last 6 games. 5-2 since the postcast. I hope you're not busy on Thursday evening, Martian, because we plan on being right back
and
here
Sens fans
in the postcast with all these great Sens fans who we appreciate so much for listening. You can follow the show on Twitter at Sens Central, on Instagram, lockedon.senators. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. For Lalim's Martian, he's Brandon Piller. I'm Ross Levitan, bringing you all what you need to know following an 8-2 victory over the first place Florida Panthers. Have a great night, Sens fans. We'll chat next time here on the Postcast, presented by Locked On